Welcome to the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff. It's a Monday edition of the program, everybody. What's going on? Ryan McGuffey. It's all brought to you by the fine folks at Hooters, originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. Order.hooters.com. If you're having a Super Bowl party, folks, this is the spot to go. You can get the great touchdown party packs of wings that they have in bulks of 25, 50. The grills will be a blazing this weekend with the Super Bowl festivities and the Super Bowl parties that are all happening this week or this weekend here on Sunday. Plenty of stuff to get to. We're kind of in that weird, monotonous time where, like, I'm looking up yesterday in the afternoon and seeing the broadcasts of gymnastics and like secondary golf tournaments. And you're like, oh boy, I forgot. This is what it's like without football. And you're like, oh. And so a lot of college basketball over the weekend. Bad Bulls. Somehow they stole a win on Saturday with a very weak lineup, and then they bring their starters back and get absolutely trounced yesterday. A big week ahead for the Chicago Bulls. But Super Bowl week is here, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing about all the storylines and everything that goes with this. And then we're also going to get sick of it at the same time. There's going to be like, God, just play the game already. It seems like it's been 10 days since these two teams actually just played. We have the Pro Bowl festivities, whatever you want to call them. Those are tomorrow night. Our guys, Nashawn Wright and Kevin Byard, will be playing in that game. So plenty of stuff to look at. And then, of course, Soxfest wraps up over the weekend. I'm sure Phil will be in there stirring the pot about something about attendance and everything. But had the opportunity to speak to some guys. I will be putting a podcast out after this show, recapping my festivities at Soxfest. Brett Kaplan starts us off today. Is Patrick Kane a first ballot Hall of Famer? Will he retire with the Hawks or Red Wings? What do you think? Okay, so 100% he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's not even a debate. He has the most points in the American-born players' history. He may retire as a member of the Red Wings, but he'll always go down as a Chicago Blackhawk. They will retire his number, as Eric is saying here, and that is forever and always. Like Kane and Taves are always going to be synonymous with the Chicago Blackhawks. Eric says the Bulls are a civic embarrassment to the city of Chicago. I honestly don't expect the Bulls to do anything at the trade deadline, in my opinion. It's very well possible. Joe Colley on the Bulls Recap podcast did say as much. Although the trade they made over the weekend was one of those like under the radar trades you make when you're trying to accumulate picks and save some money. So that one was interesting. Really good win for the Illini against Nebraska yesterday. The Fighting Illini are now number 5 in the country in college basketball. So I know that does suit a ton of you out there, and they are a top 5 team. Kane should retire as a Red Wing. Well, he's going to retire probably as a Red Wing, but he will go down as a Black Hawk. Guff, have you had a chance to see the documentary Rise of the Niners? I did see it on last night. I did not watch it. You should, because you'll see what a real football royalty is all about, especially with two of the greatest teams of all time. Right. And look at what you're referring to, the 84 and 89 Niners, especially 84, because that's the greatest team of all time. Ask your Bears in the 84. We're going back 40 years. I'm not poo-pooing the great team, but come on, man. Like, it's been 40 years. Eugenio Suarez going back to the Reds on a 1-year, $15 million deal. I really liked him being a member of any Chicago team. Thought the White Sox made a lot of sense. They were going to go with Miguel Vargas. They've been making some under-the-radar moves as well. I think that's a great move for the Cincinnati Reds to pick up a guy that'll hit 40 in that little bandbox down there. Biggest storyline is Darnold leading the Seahawks to Super Bowl while the Vikings are having to take a look in the mirror, and it starts with firing Kwesi. Like, what a major change of events. And then Justin Jefferson this morning in USA Today is saying, yeah, I think if we would have had Darnold, we would have had a better year. I mean, is he throwing McCarthy under the bus there or what? This is boom. There you go. I literally didn't even know that was the next comment in the queue. In regards to the Belichick situation, is there any plausible way that Tom Brady is a first ballot Hall of Famer? Surely these standards the voters had for Bill have to apply for Tom too. Interesting nugget. I think if you don't put Tom Brady in the first ballot Hall of Fame, everyone should lose their vote. I already feel like that way for Belichick, but there's no scenario. Speaking of Becky saying no scenario, no way Hoyer and Ricketts would trade for Skubal. I don't think Skubal's acquirable at the moment. I don't. Happy Black History Month of the White Sox should reduce the greatest player in franchise history to a Dick Allen footnote. Meanwhile, Kenny McGladdery Williams got 3 separate photos. This is kind of a disaster. Frank was on the back of the Sun-Times today saying the big hurt, with his head down. I love Frank Thomas. You guys know that. I don't think going to social media is the best thing to do when you are trying to get your point across. I will say that. Like, I'm not saying that just to Frank. I just always think going to social media is not what I would recommend. I would also think that the White Sox did miss here. I think both sides are at fault. I know sometimes there's intent and sometimes it's a mistake, and it might be a combination of the both here. I thought the same thing, Landon, after going back, after seeing Frank's tweet. Let me go back and look. And there were multiple opportunities to get Frank in there. I know it's about the first, but you look at some of the Kenny ones, like third person ever to be second time ever. It felt like there was some intent there. You know, they put a picture of Bo Jackson when the uniforms changed over. Why not Frank? I know Bo's the team ambassador. You know, Dick Allen's really close. The family's close to the White Sox. Harold Baines, of course, one of the greatest humans of all time. The footnote to Dick Allen was, Frank Thomas later did this in 93, 94. They could have said in 1993, Frank Thomas became the first black White Sox player to win back-to-back MVPs. I mean, that's a fact. So if you want to put that first. Both sides screwed this up. It sucks that the best player in the history of the franchise, and the White Sox are at odds. I don't like it. It's not good. And it is what it is. Like, somebody's got to mend the fence here, because it's not a good situation when the best player in franchise history is alive and well and could be a much bigger part of the organization. Dad's making pancakes and sausage for Becky. Good afternoon. One of the biggest storylines for the Super Bowl has to be, why would Minnesota give up Darnold after last year? Not sure why, but sure glad they did. 100%. As long as that ex-OC for the Bears doesn't have the last name Matt Nagy, doesn't matter who they are, Johnson is the play caller anyway. Agreed. I think there's some people out there going, oh my gosh, is Matt Nagy the possibility? Aloha, Rick. Chicago Bears 85. Come on, Phil Simms. That 88 and 89 Niners team was better than that 84 team. Remember the 89 team was going for a three-peat and Steve Young was a backup? Groundhog saw a shadow. I mean, here's what I was trying to explain to my kids last night, because my son was like poo-pooing this. He's like, does it even matter? And I was like, it's all folklore. Technically, no matter what, the first day of spring is March 21st or whatever it is. So there's always 6 more weeks of winter. 50 in Tulsa. My God, could you imagine if we had 50 right now? Whew. Pablo, hope you had a safe and warm weekend, Guff. Thanks for the show. You're welcome. Shocked the Bulls actually got involved and acquired some draft capital. Hopefully they make some more moves before the deadline on Thursday. Just about anyone should be available besides Modest and Giddey. 20 in Detroit. Yeah, we're somewhere in between. I love when you guys are all... Anyone remember the blizzard of 2011? I do. It was like 22 inches. My son was a little guy at the time, and I remember putting him down in a big pile of snow. He was not happy about it. Pablo, I like when Nicholas Moriano with a mustache. El Bigote. Said about Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. Guy looks like a beast. Nick's been doing these profiles. They're fantastic. Yeah, LSD, that's when they had to leave cars out there. Saw some Bulls fans wanting Rodman to get his number retired next. Who do you think will get the honor? I say Rodman and Grant, both on defense. I would go Dennis Rodman 10 times over before Horace Grant. 10 times over. No white chocolate, no fudge. Phil, are you making a list? Rita. Eric, that was the highlight of the weekend, beating Nebraska's butts red. Take that, Nebraska. Go, Illinois. Who would have ever thought that Nebraska would be a powerhouse in the Big Ten? Should be top 5 after that win. They are. They're 5. They're number 5 in the nation. Becky's coming back saying they need to extend Nico Horner. My guy, Eric Munt. What are your thoughts on the latest Sox acquisitions, Guff? Really like the Hayes deal. Like the Hayes deal, like the trade that they made yesterday. I think that's a swift under-the-radar move, taking the capital you got at the deadline last year from the Yankees and turning that into 2 pitchers. And the latter of the 2, they expect to be in a mid-rotation arm. So Sneaky under the radar stuff coming for the White Sox. And by the way, the stuff on Murakami that you're going to hear in the podcast, these guys, Anthony Kay played against him in Japan. He's like, I just don't understand why he's not a $100 million player. This guy's going to succeed. Sichuan, Kyle, how about that comeback this weekend against Westham? London is blue. Guff, I really know it's early for predictions, but I expect Seattle to win because they're the most complete team in the NFL right now. I expect the same. I'm probably going to get some bets in today. I think the Seahawks 7 or more. That was incredible how bad the Blues played in the first half. Only fitting Enzo scored the game winner. Bring on Arsenal. Go Blues. Happy Super Bowl Monday to the real Phil DeRosa. Has anyone ever seen a Seahawk eat a Patriot? It isn't pretty. We'll see that on Sunday, I believe. There it is. That's the breaking news. Clyde, thank you for asking. Maybe it's the new Clyde. My weekend was fine. Low key. It was nice. Necessary. Justin, go Sox. I chilled with Teal in Montgomery. You heard it here first. Sam Ananachi told me he is playing for Team Italy in the WBC for the Sox with Teal. Sox are killing it. Justin's jacked about the White Sox. How was the vibe at Soxfest this year? Are you ready to try a Chicago Dog smoothie or Southside Fuego Malort? No, that was cool what they did. Had the players in the food battle. I thought the vibe on Friday was cool. I mean, the vibe from the players is there, folks. Like, this team really believes in what they did in the second half could make some noise throughout. Now, are they going to win 85 games? No. But I like what Will Venable said. This team, I'm not putting numbers on this. I'm not going to block what they think they can do. You've mentioned that you might get members to video call in during the show. Is that still in the works? I think it's a good idea. Even if we have to pay separately for that, would be awesome. I would be down for that. Start, bench, cut Super Bowl party dips. Start buffalo chicken, bench chicken bacon, cut taco. Woo! Chicken bacon dip. Man, it's tough to bench buffalo chicken, but I've had so many buffalo chickens. I'm curious about the chicken bacon. I'm going to start chicken bacon, bench buffalo chicken, cut the taco dip. Found my team to cheer for. March Madness. Let's go Illini. Not that I'm rooting against, okay? Not that I'm rooting against. I just have other dogs in the fight. I love the Sox players. They chilled with me and were so cool. They remember me from last year. I saw my regular Soxfest, Bo Jackson, the regular. A lot of Illini love in here. The Blackhawks play tonight against the San Jose Sharks. What do you think? Who's going to win? Brett's favorite score is always 5-2. I have a really good Tuesday morning. Lip Ripper is kind of with me. U of I will get bounced in the Sweet 16. Sorry. Usually when there's an expectation on a team in Illinois, that team, not saying they've been tested, but now that football is over, time to start watching college basketball and get ready for the madness. Bavids is going to start buffalo chicken, bench the ranch, and cut straight cheese. No cheese dip. Phil also likes the Sox picking up Austin Hayes. Speaking of memberships, that came up already on the program. If you're not a member and would like to be, there's the link. Of course, any of our videos give you the join option as well. So make sure you become a member. And when you're a member on the program, we celebrate the crap out of you. So if you're thinking about being a member, it's February, it's a new month. Become a member today on the show. Lip, let's have some positivity, dude. I hear you based on tournaments past. I think he's positive. He's just trying to be real. I'm using my water bottle today with my Take That sticker on it. Take that. I love it, Brett. Better than Northwestern, who can't even think about going to the dance, maybe someday. And Lip Ripper coming down. I'm with Lip Ripper on this. First time having lunch during the lunch hour. Certainly at Giordano's currently at Giordano's in Orlando. How about that? Chiming in from Orlando. Really wish there was a Lou Malnati's down here. And Pitt hasn't been any good since they switched to the ACC from the Big East. A lot of teams have had the struggle moving over. March Madness is fun, but it's even more fun when you have a team you're rooting for. Just no doubt about it. Lip, I figured as much. Please don't tell me you're a Northwestern guy. Who's your team? He follows with, I don't like any colleges in the state of Illinois. Clyde, if Chris Getz is the GM of our Sox, he should make things right with the franchise and Frank Thomas. I don't think it's Chris Getz's job to do that. But someone's got to step in, and people need to put ego aside. Purdue or IU? Well, I got so much family that cheers for Purdue. Most of my family went to Purdue and nephews who currently go there. Speaking of following the recap, that's how you follow us any and everywhere as we promote our favorite people at Hooters. What a great place. If you don't have a place to watch the Super Bowl yet, maybe it should be at Hooters. We have a new special list. It's specials. Dry January's over through Sunday. Sunday. Hooters, your football headquarters. Watching at home, order online to be the MVP of your party. Like I mentioned, pre-order your wings for the big game today at order.hooters.com. Pick up your order before 3 o'clock on Sunday. You get a coupon for 20% off your next visit. How about that? We are back to the drink of the month now that Dry January is over. Tito's Strawberry Lemonade. That sounds like a summer drink. That's got me all warmed up already. Tito's Handmade Vodka Lemonade, a splash of strawberry puree, $8 all month. And of course, we know about the lunch specials. Hooters, originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations near you. Order.hooters.com. Get those party packs ready to go, folks, because it's going to be a great time this week in Hooters. Proud partner of the Recap and the Recap Lunch Hour. Yeah, Miami of Ohio, top 25. No longer that sneaky little SOB that they are. Purdue peaking at a good time. You mean peaking like they had a tough go of it after Indiana football won the national title. Purdue had a hangover. 34 degrees in Fort Lauderdale. You know how it was treated down there. They probably boarded things up. St. Patty's Day, let's start celebrating Chicago. We're getting there, not close yet. Clyde says Norm Van Leer, my good pal. I love Norm. 48 minutes of intensity. Norm was actually a dear friend of mine. Love that human being. It's crazy to me that he died 17 flipping years ago. He's one of the best. He should have had his number retired when he was alive. The schools I root for are UNLV and Tennessee. There you go, Chess. Chef Paul, should I bet the Hawks tonight? They're due for a win. Tread lightly, my friend. Bet of the day coming up here shortly. Kyle, off the beat sports news. Chicago Hounds start their season on April 4th against Anthem Rugby Carolina. Let's start the season off with a win. Go Hounds. Eric, I'm hearing reports on Twitter regarding the Bears might be playing in Spain this upcoming season. Also hearing about 6 to 7 primetime games for the Bears. Still too early to tell. That's about how many they had, Eric, this year. The Saints, I saw, are one of the teams going to Spain. España sounds like a good trip to make. That would be a blast. Chicago Bears, sorry, jumping on early, St. Patty's Day, but need some hope for spring. I get you. Chef agrees with Clyde. Norm Van Leer should have his jersey retired. Well, I love it. Jess, nothing wrong with hoping for an early spring training. Pitchers and catchers next week. Chef Ball, too many beers last night. Might be breaking bread with the man later this week. Peanut Head, Bears need a new OC and Eberflus is still getting paid by the McCaskies. I see it, Brett. I see you, buddy. Phil, how about that Tampa Bay comeback against Boston in the outdoor game in chilly Tampa? That was awesome, actually. Good for Florida for getting a Stadium Series game and then the weather cooperating. Flea Market Floppy Disk, rooting for Miami of Ohio, still undefeated. You know I'm a big Miami of Ohio when it comes to making my bet of the day. So I, too, am a fan. Guff, in your estimation, do you see the Cubs rotating Shaw and Say and Wright with Ballesteros at DH? Also plugging Shaw in a second and third when those guys... I do. I think that Shaw is literally like the ultimate Ben Zobrist right now. He can play anywhere. I think there's going to be a lot of platoon to get a lot of at-bats going in the week or during the season. Katie needs to see Groundhog Day. That's been the theme for the movie quotes today. I know. Guff and Katie, Q&A members only this week. I mentioned it to Katie. We will keep you posted. Trying to stay away from college basketball is a chore. It's on every station for all the gamblers. Too much is too much. I know, Godfather. I know. Guff, some solid Sox promos again this year. Need that AJ Jenks bobblehead. I thought the Chase Mydroth bobblehead's actually pretty sweet. Talk about looking like the player. The Chase Mydroth one is probably my favorite one. Here, I took a look at this. Helmet coming off, dirty, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Never forget about Northwest Indiana. Sox win 78 games. I love the additions. Would really love one more pitcher, but let's rock. I'm feeling crazy this season. I love it. Lip, also, USA Hockey wins gold or silver. Anything less is a huge disappointment. Now's the time. Johnny Red Kerr should have he didn't play. He was the first coach. Of course, a legendary broadcaster died on the same day as Norm. Crazy. Congrats to 670 to score. The new station 104.3. Sure. Good for them. Saints are going to play in Paris, as I mentioned. So a lot of stuff to come on that. Dog of the Day brought to you in partnership with Pause for Patrick. Pause for Patrick is just a great friend. They've helped over 30,000 adolescents facing mental health challenges since 2020. And you could help them as well. Our dog of the day today, you've seen Georgie before. There's Georgie. Back to Georgie. Loves to nap in anyone's lap. Your dog could be the dog of the day if you email me at recapoffice@gmail.com. Recapoffice@gmail.com. All dogs are therapy dogs. What they're trying to do at Pause for Patrick is get therapy dogs into these mental health facilities full time. And so they're not just coming in 1 hour a week or 1 day a week, full time. It's a pandemic, folks. What the youth are dealing with, these adolescents and mental health, they're at capacity. You can help by donating anything that you can. $1, $2, $5, etc., whatever it might be. You could text REKAP25 to 44321 to support Pause for Patrick's life-changing mission. Learn more at pauseforpatrick.org. Kyle, time to bark. What's up, George? You love when he makes another appearance. Take that. Peanut had an hour of the great Catherine O'Hara, man. Oh, rest in peace. Katie should watch Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, Schitt's Creek, like all of it, folks. All of it. Maybe she could even watch Home Alone. Georgie gets 3 barks and a howl. Lucy fired up on a Monday. Speaking of fired up, one of my favorite college basketball teams, that's not the right animation, there it is playing today. So we go back to back with Stephen F. Austin, who's a home underdog to McNeese. We didn't hit, Green Bay was god-awful on Friday night, by the way. We were 7.5-point favorites. And what happened? They lost outright at home to Cleveland State. So we finished January on a 13-6 note. I will take that. That's a pretty damn good winning 2 out of every 3 every time of the week. So 56-47-1. Stephen F. Austin home against McNeese. They're getting 1.5. I'm just going to take the plus money here on the money line. They need to stay hot and keep going. So Stephen F. Austin. Literally, I probably gave them out 4 times in January. Okay. I did say Saints in Spain earlier. Yes, Saints in Spain earlier. London will be getting an NFL team soon. It feels like it. It certainly feels like it. Let's ride again. Thanks for the bet, Guff. Absolutely. Let's keep it going in February. Let's get hot. Bulk up the account for the weekend. I'll give a bunch of plays on Friday, prop plays for the Super Bowl, of course. So get ready for Friday's big parlay Swarzy. There's going to be so many props that we're going to like. So let's talk about those on Friday. That's a great month. Allowed me to feed my wife this month. Just kidding. That's hilarious. Yeah, 7 games over 500. Multiply that out over 12. You're 84 games over 500. I'd be a professional gambler at that point. I mean, that's just unheard of. So we will take the hot month that we had. The big skirt. Look, I don't agree that Frank should air grievances in social media. But I will say this, and I know it's a fact. Frank has a point. He has a case. For whatever reason, both sides have gotten to a point where it seems like no one wants to repair, and someone needs to. The organization needs Frank Thomas. It's ridiculous. It does feel, I saw somebody bring up Sammy Sosa, like Clyde, if Ricketts can make peace with Sammy Sosa. Ricketts is the owner. Chris Getz is the GM. Getz was a teammate of Frank. I don't think it's Chris Getz's job to make amends with Frank Thomas. Kyle, prediction on how many more moves the Bulls make? Over under 2.5. Man, that's a good number. I want it to be badly over. I'm going to say under though. I'm going to say like 2. I hope it's over. Maybe sprinkle. What do you got? You have the over in the Hawks game, Lip. And he's going to sprinkle the money line live time. Okay. Stephen F. Austin is the play here today. SFA, Stephen F. Austin, if you're looking for it in the scroll, plus 114, depending on where you shop right now on the money line. They're getting 1.5 at home. And we'll look at the Super Bowl storylines, etc. But the Frank Thomas stuff, certainly, I understand where there's people on both sides of this. I get it. Have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other while the Cat Man continues to enjoy his vacation down south. We'll continue to do the dirty work here on the recap. We'll have the recap rush hour later today. I will have a new White Sox recap podcast out later today. and then the Bulls are back at it tomorrow. I'll have that recap for you later. Eric, you have a great day too. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Looks like it's starting to snow again. Come on, man. It is February, though. February. We're inching closer, folks. Have a great rest of your day. It's all brought to you by Hooters, originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations near you. Think about the wings for the Super Bowl party, folks, because they have the best in town. You know that. There's 11 Chicagoland locations. Order.hooters.com, though, is always a way to go. I used it yesterday. Not kidding. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow here on the Lunch Hour, 12:30. We do it every day. Have a great day. Take that.